So in this worksheet, in this video, I'm going to talk about solubility rule only. So solubility rule is for double displacement. So we need to know how to read this table. Now anything on the top of the table, they're soluble. Soluble meaning that they're aqueous. Aqueous meaning like when they sit in water, they will be dissolved, they will be separated, they will form charges, they will be separated. So anything with the soluble, no matter reactant or product, they're always aqueous. No matter reactant or product, as long as they're soluble, they're aqueous. That means that they will stay in the water and then they will be separated into charges. So on the top here, right, hydrogen and iodide, they follow the same rule as the bromide and chloride. And you're going to read very carefully, right? So you're going to read out the sentence. You say, okay, acetate are soluble. Okay, so all the acetate will be soluble, right, except at E3+. So that means iron acetate will not be soluble. Anytime when you see the exception, then you will have opposite of whatever the original definition. So iron acetate will be not soluble. Okay, if they're soluble, you will write aqueous. Okay. And then on the bottom will be anything insoluble. If it's insoluble, it's not aqueous. That means that they stay in the water, they stay is a compound. So if I have insoluble reactant, it will be solid. Now insoluble reactant will be something, for example, I just get the compound from the prep room, from the bottle. I did not even start my reaction yet. So it's everything solid. Insoluble reactant, everything is solid. If an insoluble product will be something that after the reaction, and after the reaction is a product, and I find out that thing is precipitated out as a solid. So that will be PPT. Okay, they both are insoluble, but if the reactant we say solid, it's a product we say PPT. Now how do you read it? It's the same thing. Right? Carbonate are insoluble except group 1 and ammonia. So that means if it's like Na, right, group 1 Na, sodium carbonate will be soluble because sodium is the group 1, so it is an exception. Okay, so sodium carbonate will be soluble. If it's like iron carbonate, for example, iron carbonate will be insoluble because the iron is not on the exception. Now, anything with the exception will be opposite from what you learned. Okay, so now we can actually do this worksheet. Okay, so the first 4 already done for you. I'm going to do 4 more. Okay. So for example, we're going to read the everything on the discharge, they are negative. So we check the negative, well, except ammonium. Okay, but anything here will be checking negative. And then the exception will go to the positive side. So here, zinc bromide product. So we look up the bromide, all right? So how do you read it? The bromides are soluble. But I don't see zinc on the exception, so there's no exception. So how do you read it? Is bromides are soluble. So bromide are soluble. That's all I write. Okay, Br minus are soluble. So you're gonna read soluble product. Now soluble product, which is actually aqueous. Okay, soluble product is actually aqueous. Okay, and then let's say I'm reading this Mg sulfide, so we read the negative, we read sulfide. So sulfides are insoluble. Is there any exception? Yes, except those of Mg2+. Sulfides are insoluble except those of Mg2+. Okay. S2 minus are insoluble except those of Mg2+. Okay, so sulfide are insoluble except those of Mg2+. Because you have exception, then it will be opposite to insoluble. So in this case will be soluble reactant. Soluble reactant will be red color. So anything soluble will be aqueous. Anything soluble will be aqueous. Now here, right, silver chloride. This is the word, it's the same thing, silver chloride. So we're going to read, okay, chlorides are soluble except those of silver. Silver is Ag. So chlorides are soluble except those of silver. So chlorides are soluble except those of silver. So I'm going to write on here. So chlorides are soluble except those of silver. Okay, so chlorides are soluble except those of silver. That means should be opposite because of the exception. So you're going to write insoluble reactant. Insoluble reactant is blue color. Okay, now insoluble reactant is the common sense. So reactant, if it's insoluble, will be either solid or PPT. But which one it is? Reactant will be solid because I did not even start my reaction yet. So that would be solid. So will be solid. The last one is lead to hydride product. So hydride will be on here. Okay, so right here, they follow the same thing as a bromide. So hydride are soluble except those of Pb2 plus, except those of lead 2. Okay, so hydride are soluble except those of lead 2. So hydrides are soluble except those of lead 2. Okay, so in this case will be opposite, right, because of the exception. So this one will be insoluble insoluble product. If it's insoluble product, this will be PPT because the product is the thing that I end up at the end, so will be precipitated out.